I hope everyone's staying cool out there. It's quite hot here, but the temperatures aren't going to be over 100 for a week or so, they say, and that's a little better than 107. Well, anyway, I pulled that cutter out of there, complete arbor out, and I've got it over here, and I'm setting it up. You see this thing runs nearly dead true. So I got the 50 taper arbor in the standard workhead here, and the standard workhead's heavy. I'm not kidding. I think this whole thing's almost 100 pounds. It's quite heavy. Of course, things are getting heavier the older I get. So the next thing I got to do is adapt a finger, one of these ratchet fingers. I used a solid finger before, and it's really quite cumbersome. So I'm going to take advantage of having these ratcheting fingers, and I have to modify the holder here. Now, this is an adjustable finger rest, but you use this one for spirals because, see, it stays with the machine. So I'll just take this loose, hook it to the table for this cutter here. Okay, so now this is fun here. I use this Axelson every single day. Okay, I got the this is the first faceplate job. So this is the holder. It's an old forged part, and it needs to be bored out to 5/8, and I'm not going to run a drill bit through it because it's probably a little bit case hardened. So I'll bore it out, and you can see how I fixtured this thing on that plate that I installed. You see that? You wouldn't be able to do that without modifying this, and it's you can see these 1/2-inch bolts here would be pretty close to the mounting pins in there. So it's better to do this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I got this thing just, I think just snug here. And I'm going to dial it in with that antique Brown Sharpe button indicator, I believe someone told me it's called. Okay, that's stuck in there. But it's pretty much centered. Okay, I'll set up that indicator and be back. Okay, got that little gimbal holder in there. And when you use it this way, you have to lock the bottom here, and I'll do that in a minute. Let's set that up. I think you can see from there. Oh, let's look in the box. Now, this is a real old Brown Sharpe tool here. There's no number on this tool at all, but it says Brown Sharpe on the shank. And here are the pieces that are here. This is your pointer, and it's very sharp. And here's your indicating hook. And this end is a 60-degree point for indicating in a center punch hole, or yeah, divot. And of course, you'd want to use quality center punches and do a good job of doing it. So let's stick this piece in first. There we go. And I'll point that hook straight up. Now, the closer you choke up on it, the more accurate it's going to be, or the more sensitive, you know, closer to that pivot. The closer this is, the further you move it away, the coarser the reading's going to be. So I'm going to lock it right there. I think you can see everything. And I want to point out that this is spring loaded. You can see I'm pulling it back. Okay, that's for that center punch. So, okay, we're going to get this centered pretty much. That looks pretty centered. Now I'll put on the pointer in here. And you use your tailstock here as a reference, see? Well, get that center punch over there. Or it's not center punch, but life center. It's, whoop, oh, I forgot to lock it. Let's see if we're centered there. Look down here. And right at the bottom is a lock. And that'll lock that on center. Okay. That's why it moved like that. Okay, I can loosen the tool post or the tool holder and lift the holder up and see it goes up and down like that. So you can center it. Then you can use the cross slide a little bit there. I think that's good. Okay. I'll move it, you can hopefully see that. Okay. Okay, that's high there. So I'll take a little brass hammer. Oh, it might be the wrong way. Get kind of turned around. Yeah, it was. I can remember what I was tapping on there. There, that lifted it. Okay, that's high. Tap down. Tap it true. Look at that. Look how close it's getting. Now we'll check it when I get it a bit closer. Let's see, where is that? Oh, I'll find it eventually. Here it is. Just going to snug these just a little bit. You see how that's working? I'm going to push it into the board just a little bit more. Let's see how it's looking. Okay, that's high. Nope. I think this is really quite sensitive. Oh, I don't know. Uh-oh. See how it's doing. Wow, look at that. That's pretty close. Let me back that into the board just a little bit more. I'll turn it real slow. A little bit of roughness inside the part. You know, let's check that with the dial indicator. I'll go ahead and get that set up. Hey, now this inner rapid says it's within a thousandth or so, and you know that hole's not a bearing surface, and it looks to me like this old-time indicator is about as good as 100 years old anyway. Is as good as an inner rapid. Okay, now one thing you got to do if you're using, I'm like using table clamps and blocks here to hold that part, and you want to make sure to tap on the blocks once you get it locked in and that it's not fooling you. And I'll tell you why. Them blocks will fly right out and break that window. Maybe bonk you in the head too. So there's always, you know, there's clearance issues. There's always issues with doing old-time things. But I'll tell you, it didn't take very long to set this up. And it's really nice to have this option, because this milling machine over here is tied up with this stuff, and it's a little bit too much of an elevated temperature to use a jig bore. And that's one thing I don't know about jig bores. I know they're not accurate above 68 degrees, but I don't know if it damages them operating above that. And I asked the guy about that, and he goes, well, why would you operate a jig bore above 68 degrees? Okay, so we settled that one. So it's really good to have this option here. And I will find a suitable cutter, and I'll punch that 1/2-inch hole out to 5/8. I'm laying full-time tooling here. Okay, I got this set up here, and I've got a hard stop here so I don't crash into this. This KDK works really good boring with, I got an ER32 very cheap collet chuck with a 3/8 insert boring bar. We'll see how that cuts. I think I'm running it at 351. Let's see how that does. It's balanced okay at that. Maybe right there, huh? See what happens. 4/1000. Right at 5/8. All right, you know, I thought this was cast steel, but it's cast iron. Oh, block's gonna fall out. Yeah, you want to make sure those little blocks are tight if you're using something like that. Nice and snug, it didn't move. The block out of there. And there we go. I'll use a deburring tool on that, and I can hook the finger up, and we will get back onto a cutter grinder. Okay, I'll load this video just because it's cool to use faceplate, and thanks, Bill, for that.